Hey, what is going on, guys? So I'll be doing a review of yet another Urban Armagear case. This one is technically for the iPhone 6 or 6S. I mean, it came out around the same time as the 6S, so it's one of the first Urban Armagear cases that are kind of like marketed for the 6S. And this is the ash color. I'm not sure if I said that already, so it's definitely new to Urban Armagear. They have sold a composite case like this in the past called the Maverick, which I have here. As you can see, this one's more clear. This one's just a darker gray version. So this is the ash, which is what we're reviewing here, and this is the Maverick, which I reviewed like a year ago for the iPhone 6. So this is the ash case. It's just a slightly darker version of the Maverick, essentially, and I personally think it looks really, really good on the silver and space gray iPhone 6S. It doesn't look that great on the other two colors, in my opinion, but that's of course your personal preference. So one thing I have started to notice with Urban Armagear cases, which is kind of unfortunate, I mean, I'm always saying how much I love them and whatnot, but they do kind of break after about a year. So my problem with this one, you can see there's like super glue here, but this little rubber piece here, let's see if I can focus here. This little rubber piece here kind of comes off, as you can see, like that. And then there is super glue on it, so it's slightly less like that, but it is breaking like that, so I did put some super glue on it, and then my other two ones have actually like cracked along here. This one hasn't cracked yet, but that piece has come off here. So that is one thing to note about Urban Armagear cases. It's a $35 case, and it will break after about a year. Every Urban Armagear case I have had has done that. However, I would still keep purchasing them just because I absolutely love the design and feel of the case and the protection it offers and all of that. So anyway, that is just a basic overview of the case. This is the ash color, as I've already said. This is the packaging that it comes in. It's just a kind of plastic, nothing you'd want to save or anything like that. So I'm going to kind of put the iPhone 6 and the 6S in Urban Armagear cases and show you the difference. The 6S is slightly thicker than the iPhone 6, and that has caused a lot of problems for case manufacturers because they're still marketing the cases for the iPhone 6 and 6S, but it doesn't really fit all that well. The 6S doesn't fit all that well in cases that are for both the iPhone 6 and 6S, and I'll kind of show you. So this is the ash case, which is what I'll be putting on the silver iPhone 6S here. So you can see this is the S version here. We'll be putting this one on here. To put the phone in, you simply kind of put one side in first, oops, and then you push down on the other side, of course, and then you just kind of snap it in along the sides, and then you're good. It isn't like a two-piece case or anything like that. It's super easy to put on, and then, yeah, so you can just see the design of the case. This is what I love most about this. I don't know, just silver with this kind of ash color just looks really, really good in my opinion. I really liked the black and gold of this, but the silver and kind of gray from the ash, I just love the design of this case. So as you can see, just the overall look of it, I just really, really enjoy. So anyway, that is how you put the case on the actual phone. Nothing too hard at all, and I'll go ahead and put the case on the iPhone 6 as well. So they are different models of cases, but the case dimension and everything are exactly the same. It's just a different colored case. So this is the Maverick case, which I reviewed last year. I'll put it on, so yeah, you can see that this is the two phones in the cases here. And now for the main problem here. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. I don't know if it's light enough. Yeah, it should be. All right. You can see this case is a little dirty because I've been using it for over a year now. But for the iPhone 6, which is one on the left here, the headphone jack is centered, the lightning port is centered, and the speakers are centered. Everything with the case matches perfectly. For this, which is for the iPhone 6S, because it's a little bit thicker, you can see that the headphone jack is pushed up a little bit, the lightning port is pushed up a little bit, and the speaker grill doesn't perfectly fit with the cutout. So because this case is for the iPhone 6 and 6S, it still technically works for the iPhone 6S, but it really is no longer ideal. The cutouts are just a little bit off now because of the extra thickness of the iPhone 6S. So I personally think that Urban Armagear and every other case manufacturer should just make a case for the iPhone 6 and make a case for the iPhone 6S, rather than making both a case for the iPhone 6 and 6S, because then they either make the iPhone 6 fit perfectly and the 6S be a little off, or vice versa, and so it's just really not a good system. It's hard to make a case that works for both phones when the phones are different dimensions. However, everything else about the case is perfect. The overlays and everything are flawless. The camera cutout is perfect. The mute switch is good. The volume buttons, everything like that is good. So, like I said, just the cutouts on the bottom, they're just really not perfect, and it's really disappointing. Let's see if I can move this light a little bit. All right, so yeah, you can see that it doesn't line up perfectly, which is really annoying. I found that with charging my phone and everything, like I'm pushing up on this a little bit because you go to plug in the lightning port, and it, of course, since it's not centered here, it just pushes this up a little bit, and so bigger charging cables no longer fit with an Urban Armor Gear case. And normally I'm used to Urban Armor Gear cases having plenty of room, but because of just the design of the case and how the iPhone 6s is a little bit thicker, it just doesn't really work. Same with the headphone jack. Normally this would be centered and they have a very spacious cutout for it, but because it's pushed up, you will be very limited on what headphones you can use with this case. Same with the speaker grill. As you can see, like half of the speaker grill is covered by rubber. It's just really not a good thing here. So it's not going to deter me from using this case, and it's not this case specifically. Like I said, almost every case manufacturer is using their cases for both the iPhone 6 and 6s, and I just really don't think that's a good idea because, as you can see, everything's just a little tiny bit off. It's not off enough to make it not work. Obviously, you can still charge your phone, you can still plug in headphones and all those good things, but just, I don't know, just the dimensions of the iPhone 6s, since it's a little bit thicker, it just kind of offsets everything, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, here it is again. You can see that the gold iPhone 6 on the bottom is matched up perfectly with the case, and then the top is the 6s in the exact same case that's supposedly made for both the 6 and 6s. And you can see everything's just a little bit off, which is just, yeah, just a little bit annoying, but that's okay. It's not a huge deal. It's definitely not going to deter me from using the case, as I said. I do love Urban Armor Gear cases, love the feel of them and everything like that, and that little thing, while I think it's kind of annoying, it's not a huge deal. So that's just kind of a general rant about the cutouts on the bottom. As for the actual case itself, as I've said, I love Urban Armor Gear cases. Just everything about them, how they feel, how they look, everything about them, just my favorite case on the market, and that has been so for like the last 3 years now, I think. So anyway, my first favorite thing is just the look of the case. As you can see, I kind of says for itself. This is the ash color, so you can see it's kind of a darker gray, and it goes really, really well with the silver, in my opinion. And I think the case looks really, really nice. I had the Maverick on the gold iPhone 6, and I really, really liked it, but since getting this one, I just love the look of this one. So anyway, look is first in my opinion. That's what I really, really enjoy about Urban Armor cases. Second is the protection amount. So you can see they have reinforced corners. Each corner is very reinforced, as you can see over here. So each corner is like this. It has extra rubber on here, so hitting a corner or something, if you were to drop your phone, would not be a problem for the Urban Armor Gear case. And the rubber piece over here comes above the camera, so if you were to lay your phone down on the table or something like that, you would not have to deal with the camera lens getting scratched or anything like that. And there's a perfect cutout for the camera lens here. It does not cover the microphone or anything like that, so all is well there. There are also little feet on the rubber corners here, if you can see this little rubber corner here. So this will even prevent the case from getting wear necessarily. So if you were to set the case down here, rather than it just hitting the rubber reinforcement pads, it actually hits these little feet, which is really, really nice. We also have these rubber little grommets, which aren't related to protection at all, but they just kind of look cool, so that is something worth mentioning. I do like these little rubber grommets, and they actually are little rubber pieces in here. They don't actually have any function, they just look cool, like I said. But yeah, one thing I do wish was that they did something like they worked around the Apple logo and the iPhone logo down here. Like they have these little holes here that serve no purpose, but if you were to kind of put that around the Apple logo and around the iPhone logo, that'd look pretty good in my opinion. Another thing that is nice about this case is it has a very good lay on the table design. So of course, when you're looking for protection in a case, you kind of want all the corners to be reinforced, and you also want the face of the phone to be protected. So because this case comes up here, it doesn't come up that much because I have a glass screen protector on here, which is pretty thick. But if you didn't have a screen protector on here, the case would raise quite a bit above the actual iPhone screen, and that is for a lay on the table design, meaning you can kind of go like this and move your phone around, and the table won't actually be coming in contact with the screen, which is something that's of course very, very important. Another thing that I think Urban Armor Gear is pretty well known for, and with good reason because these buttons are incredible, is just the overlay for their buttons here. As you can see, I don't know actually if you can see, let's see if we can do that. So they have a little piece of rubber here, just as most iPhone cases do, but rather than it being totally connected here, it's just a little like strip of rubber, and there's a gap between the rubber button and the back of the case, which just makes pushing it feel really, really good. For once, I like a case's button better than the actual iPhone's button, just because of how Urban Armor Gear designed it. They have a nice little grip on here, so you can kind of feel it without actually looking at it, so it definitely has very good feeling to it, and then the actual pushing the button, it isn't like mushy or anything like that. It's actually really, really nice. And then the same deal here for the volume buttons. They just have a little rubber strip here and a gap, and the gap just kind of allows you to push the buttons without too much resistance or anything like that, which is really, really nice. I love that about Urban Army Gear cases. Another thing that is nice about them is that they have these little ridges down here, and these ridges are just kind of to help you hold the phone. So rather than like holding the phone if your hands are wet or something like that, these little ridges down here will just kind of help you hold on to the phone, which, I mean, if you were to drop your phone in this case, you'd be very well protected, but the ridges on here will help assure you that you won't actually drop the phone, which is of course a very, very good thing. So I think that is pretty much it for my review of my favorite iPhone 6s case. I believe this will remain my favorite iPhone 6s case until the iPhone 7 comes out, and hopefully when the iPhone 7 comes out, Urban Army Gear will have to actually make a new design of a case that actually fits really, really well. Because the cutout on the bottom just really is kind of unfortunate. I'm so used to Urban Army Gear cases having flawless cutouts, but because of how these cases are marketed for both the iPhone 6 and the 6s, they're just all kind of going to be like that for the 6s, which is unfortunate. But so yeah, anyway, this has been my review of this Urban Army Gear case for the iPhone 6s. This is the ash color, which I think looks really, really good on the silver iPhone 6s. If you agree with me, then I recommend going and purchasing this case, because there's really nothing wrong with it apart from the little thing at the bottom, but that's something you can easily work around. If you use all Apple accessories, not any third-party things, you won't have any problems whatsoever. But yeah, this has been my review of the Urban Army Gear Ash case for the iPhone 6s. If you guys like to purchase the product, of course, the link will be in the description, as it always is. I do really, really enjoy this case, and I very highly recommend it, even though they only last about a year. For $35, you get a year use out of the best case on the market, in my opinion. So yeah, anyway, this has been Jordan for Jolt Reviews. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.